Testing noise. Need to.
Wow. Why do I suddenly expect to get attacked by Mariah Carey? It's just like Christmas Dance Cheese 101.
Something like that.
Wow.
Well, well done you for accomplishing that. This is some...
Oh yeah. This is not ear candy, this is ear, I don't know what. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, I am doing Christmas soup with this. Ear vomit, yes. Ear vomit, definitely.
Excellent.
Oh, yeah. Very, very Merry Christmas. Okay, this is... We go, just to give a backstory, we gave for the challenge finding cheesy Christmas music you could find, and I think he has smashed that challenge.
You don't
That's the
say.
challenge with us here on Cheese FM.
What is this?
Is this like from a mall in the 80s?
Oh, God.
Like what's it called? The Vaporwave? The Vaporwave.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like you just bought a laptop for Christmas.
Right, DJ, can we wind it down a little bit, please?
Yeah, this music's too exciting.
God, thank you so much. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, and welcome to the London LondonFurs online winter special. Round of applause. Thanks everyone for coming along today, 7 p.m. on a Saturday, 19th of December. I hope you've done all your Christmas shopping and done your Christmas bits and bobs. I still haven't wrapped the gifts that I've bought. I've literally just finished work and legged it back to get home to be able to do this. I'm Annie. Nice to have you all here with us on this delicious winter evening. Yeah. So normally what we would do on a LondonFurs online meet is just have a general catch up and announce anything that's really changed. Obviously, it's been a crazy year for us with us having to cancel meets and move to this online format. Obviously, we're still in lockdown across the UK, so we don't know what's going to happen for the next couple of months at least. So we will continue with the online meet format into 2021, and then as soon as we can, we'll restart physical meets again. But obviously, we'll announce that through here and through social media, so do keep coming in and checking in. We'll have a quick, brief rundown of what we're doing tonight. The late night special. It's Christmas. It's motherfucking Christmas. We do from about 7:15. We've got an amazing group of people from the Nordic FuzzCon who we're going to be interviewing, as we love to do. And then we are very excited to have the Vice Chair from MFF here as well. Around 8 o'clock, we'll be having a catch up with them to see how things are getting on. Obviously, MFF is actually, I think it's happening this weekend as well. So we are clashing with that. So we really appreciate Duncan taking the time out to come along to do that. And then from about 8:30 onwards, we open up all of the voice channels. And we just generally have a catch up, and we'll open up some of the game rooms, and then by about 10 o'clock we'll call it quits. So yeah, should be quite a nice evening. Again, thank you for coming along. If you want to share this audio stream with anyone, you just go to www.londonfurs.org.uk/live. Or obviously they can join the Discord server and get involved as well. So, some exciting news we have. We have a new volunteer with us. Atlas Travel Fox has decided to join LondonFurs for 12 months for a university project, helping out as a member of staff. Atlas, you can unmute yourself and come and say hello.
Hi everyone, it's nice to meet you all. Really happy to be here.
And we're very happy to have you. So tell us a little bit about your project.
So I'm planning to do a dissertation on furry culture and I guess how it's been affecting people over this real shitstorm of a year, I guess. But I'm also going to branch out to cosplay and among other costume subcultures.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what have you been up to the past week or two?
Past week or two, I've honestly been trying not to rip out my own eyes, so I don't have to look at the news and how depressing it is. But been good. My brother's just come home, just been spending time with family and hiding presents from them. Kind of hard to do.
Nice.
We're all trapped in the house.
Do you know what? That's nice though. That's those are the things we need at this time of year. Christmas present hiding. It's a wholesome activity and it's a good activity, and I think everyone should be doing it right now. But except for me, I haven't wrapped presents. But my plan is this weekend wrap the presents. So next week I can put my feet up, chill, drink, eat lots of food, live the dream. That's the plan.
I'm not even like buying this year. Just like why?
Come on.
Come on, like wasting paper. I'm trying to be like one with like Mother Earth and shit.
Yeah, I guess you could like smother them in mud or something, and then you can,
I'll just put it under my shirt and just tell my family I don't know.
Eco-friendly. Why not?
I can just hide it under my shirt and say I got fatter.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fat definitely. That's one guarantee. Between now and the end of Christmas, I will be fatter. Bath, what's going on, buddy? Very good, very, very good. Just I'm all like still strung up from work. I'm a little bit I'm like feeling the vibe, feeling ready.
That's coming.
It is the Christmas energy.
It's next week. Can you believe it? It's next week. It's gonna be.
I believe in Christmas. No matter what they do, they can't stop.
Actually, sitting back and drinking and eating.
You know what? I've been doing the Royal Mail job, and I'm driving around a post van and collecting mail and stuff. I've been going on about it the past few weeks, but I really should have got a Santa hat and just been jamming around as a fake Santa.
If you do that, the energy flows for everyone, and they'll feel the same suit.
Yes,
in this crazy times, we need positive vibes to keep us going.
We do.
So yeah, no.
I strongly agree. But you've been double wide. So you finished work now. You were saying, didn't you?
Yeah, I finished work last Monday. So that's the Monday that I got told to come in on Monday because they didn't work. So I kindly agreed. But yeah, it was worth it, and yeah, it's great. It's good. It's to unwind after 10 months of work. So it's no breather. Yeah, it's great.
Code name TRW Raven, aka Blue, aka the Anonymous. What's going on, buddy?
What's happening? Not much.
Nice.
Not much indeed. Over the holiday, I'm still doing work for A levels. It's non-stop. It's
okay. Right.
It's just lots of coursework. I'm doing
Non-stop.
Non-stop.
What have they done?
Yeah, just got to keep going. I think, however, for this assignment, at least for media, they're going to be moving the deadline back because the teacher went off sick because one of the bubbles that he was teaching got COVID. So hopefully we've got a little more time to do this assignment, at least.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, it's not long past my birthday as well. I'm 19 now.
Beautiful, and well, happy birthday. And I was going to delay the happy birthdays because I know there's a very special person that has had birthdays, and it's today as well, isn't it?
It is indeed.
And they're next on my list, I think.
I am hiding.
Nice try. Nice.
No.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
birthday
to you. Happy birthday to
You're breaking this law. Stop it, you're breaking this law.
Happy
birthday to you.
We're never doing that again.
That was
They
great.
did it for me last week. They were doing it for you.
Exactly.
Darn it.
This is the beauty of being born on Boxing Day. I don't have to deal with this shit. How have you been? And what's going on? And happy birthday! You got any plans today?
Thank
Or
you
are you
very
just chilling?
I've because I'm quarantining. Hooray! I am not allowed to do anything. As you may or may not know, Moo's a little bit unwell at the moment, so I'm just taking the precautions and keeping myself at bay, I guess, just to be safe.
Send our love to Moo. Make sure.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing okay. It's,
Yeah, no, I haven't been doing much. So
Fair enough.
just work at the moment.
Mate, this is the thing. It's just like keep on going, keep on going,
Yeah,
keep on
I
grinding.
prefer to be occupied with work and stuff and be
Yeah.
doing things than be sat at home doing literally FA. So
Yeah, fair shout. That is good. That is good. Well, happy birthday and lots of love as usual.
thank you.
Lupus Fur, what's going on, buddy?
I'm on holiday.
I'm on holiday.
It's like
it's Christmas holiday.
I haven't had a holiday since October last year.
Holy shit. How do you do that?
I don't know. Just too much.
Jesus. Your Christmas music was perfect, by the way. I have to say again. It was amazing.
I've got some better ones as well, which we'll save for later on.
We'll drop some bombshells later. Good. All right. Good. Next on the list, Noah Kitsune.
Yo.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I've been playing a lot of Hades recently. My arm hurts from the amount of button pressing I've been doing. It's a hack and slash, and so it's frantic button mashing, but it's excellent fun. I highly recommend it.
I remember there was what was that game? It was like an Olympics game, and that you could do the 100-meter sprint, and it was on PlayStation. And to run, you had to do circle X, circle X, circle X as fast as you could. And I used to hold my breath and like properly, like London. It might have been London 2012. It might have been sooner than that, Pascal. Like earlier, I'm quite old, but yeah, I used to hold. It might have been track and field. I literally was holding my breath, and I used to get like a proper red face from just like holding like. And it used to give me headaches, man. So I'd stop playing it. But yeah, I feel that. Akami, what is going on, Akami guy? Here is a song for you.
that was beautiful, and I feel blessed. I did my one-day character voice acting workshop on the 10th. That was the most fun I've had with my clothes on for a long time. It was fucking brilliant.
Nice.
Just a 5-hour period of just total license to be an idiot and make stupid voices, which is fantastic. And since then, life's got a little bit more complicated because apparently I've joined a second band.
Oh, amazing!
Yeah, like I've got free time. I basically spent the last week just writing most of an album of music. It's just kind of poured out of me.
Nice.
Which is really cool, but it's also kind of tiring at the same time.
Yeah.
Because like the sheer mental switch of doing that, but it's been great. And the band's already got a gig booked for next year if things are good come July. But the gig is on the Isle of Wight, so.
No way.
Yeah, there's a festival on the Isle of Wight that's booked us already because of the bassist's reputation.
Oh, sick.
So that should be cool.
I need to listen to some of your stuff, man. I'm still not done it. Still not got around to listening. Yeah.
To be fair, the first band is Manibus. The album that we've got out, I'm not on it. That album predates my time in the band.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
And the album that we're working on just ain't happening. Trying to get in studio is just an absolute nightmare. And one of our guitarists is basically on his way out, but he's the one that we're relying on for the recording. So he basically wants to get the album recorded with us before he leaves. And then we've got to replace him, which is going to be great fun, in inverted commas. It's a shame. He's a really nice guy. He just can't organise his shit.
Right, musicians, am I right?
Oh, fucking right. Useless.
Good,
absolutely
mate.
useless. No, but yeah, just going to keep working for the rest of the year, and that's about it, really.
Fantastic. And Tamwolf. I mean, we're missing people. I swear, we're missing some staff. I feel bad because I know we're definitely missing staff. But
we always have to do a check of anyone else.
Draco's not on, I don't think. But Draco, we've not said hello to. But I know Draco's okay because we spoke the other day. So yeah. How are you, Tam to the Wolf?
I'm pretty good, I guess. It's been a weird day, hasn't it? It started off with everyone sharing pictures of carp on Twitter, and then ended with everyone crying that Christmas is cancelled. So,
oh my god, what is this carp thing?
Highs and lows.
That is a beautiful carp that I've seen on Twitter, though. It is a beautiful
I have
specimen.
seen so many different types of carp today. I did not think that's what my Saturday was going to have in store for it. But, hey, there you go. That is the world of the internet.
Trust me, if a carp is kissable, the carp I saw was a beauty.
I don't know if that was the main intention of that picture of the carp, the kissability of it.
High kissability.
Yeah, apart from that, I'm good. You sound very wired, Annie. I'm worried that you need to go and have like 10 minutes. Just sit down, quiet time.
No, literally, I've literally finished work and just darted back, and then my football team are losing. Just it's just what, and then they cancel Christmas. Well, they try and cancel Christmas, and I'm just all blah.
See, I've had a calm day wrapping Christmas presents, so I'm like very, very chilled.
Are you all done then?
I'm all done. It's all under the Christmas tree.
I mean, how on earth did you wrap my gift? It's so gigantic,
Well, that one is
you
in
have
the
to get a
driveway.
small team of people to
Wrapped up in the driveway.
socially distanced team to wrap that sucker. Good. Oh, well, that's a lovely little roundup of staff and what we've been up to.
Yes, we should probably introduce some people, shouldn't we?
Yeah, let's just get some other people in here, shall we? We are very excited to have the team from Nordic FuzzCon here. If you guys are ready, unmute yourselves and come and say hello. We've got Trax, who's the chairman.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Doing pretty good. Thanks.
Nice. Dalziel, who's head of the ceremony department. And
hello, good evening.
What's going on?
It's very nice to be here, thank you.
Awesome. It's lovely to have you. Fredericks, who's head of the events department, so I feel for you. And is also a board advisor.
Pains.
Exactly that. And the lovely Isaac, who is head of the experience department and one of the acting chairs during NFC, so I also feel your pain, and is also a board advisor.
Oh.
How are we doing, everyone?
Doing good. Almost Christmas.
I know, so close now, isn't it?
We're downhill now, isn't it? We're almost there.
It's actually the 19th today, so it's 6 days away. 6 days, crazy. 6 days.
Well, I know we just briefly introduced everyone then, but I was actually just going to go quickly around and just ask a little bit further of everyone, like what that actually means. Like, what is so maybe we should start with Trax and just talk a little bit about what is a chairman doing in NFC? What does that look like for you?
Well, that's a very broad topic, if I may say.
Knock yourself out.
Well, you know what a fire extinguisher is, and then there is lots of small, tiny flames popping up, and then so my job is just running around between them and then making sure that they don't grow or turn bigger. No, it's. I mean, I have a very talented group of people that are working for NFC, and during the con, I can relax. Can you imagine it?
Unbelievable.
Then I have people like Isaac that is actually helping out, also run the con during the actual convention itself. So I also get to fursuit at least once during the con, which is awesome.
What a luxury!
Yeah, it's been years where I haven't had a chance, but in recent years, and I mean, it's been going very good. So I'm really impressed with how everyone is doing.
Works together. Good.
Oh, nice. And you mentioned Isaac there. Do you want to just explain a little bit how you help out during the con itself?
Well, I'm both the lead of the experience department, so I already have that to do. But as an acting chair, my job is the same as what Trax mentioned, putting out fires, but with slight less responsibility, because if the fire gets bigger, then I call Trax. So it's all good.
Very good. And what about you, Dalziel? What are you doing while NFC is on?
I'm responsible for the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony. So in the year or more leading up to the convention, I have to figure out some kind of entertaining show related to the theme of the convention. I need to find out what information needs to be given out and try and give that information in a somewhat entertaining and engaging way. And find suitable performers to be on stage and to, really to start off the convention with a bang. Really, we want people to have a wonderful time, and we want to set the mood right, from the very first event. So that's what I aim to do.
Very cool. What does a normal opening ceremony look like then? I'm imagining a choir of 1,000 orphans singing.
Pyro, lasers, all of the above.
Well,
going off the stage.
Well, in previous years, I haven't been in charge. When I was first brought in a couple of years ago just to write the music for the ceremonies, but for the last convention, I was sort of in charge of the whole thing. So I kind of tried to sort of raise the bar somewhat, and I was very fortunate that the theme of the convention that year was Eurovision, or I should say Furvision. And it's a big guilty pleasure of mine and of many people as well. So got to basically create our own version of the Eurovision Song Contest, but furry themed. And it was great fun also writing the songs for that show. I should mention that they're all also on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch some short Eurovision style songs about someone bitching about fursuiters, or some very lewd, yiffy, nonsense, go to our Nordic.
It's very entertaining.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm responsible for that nonsense.
Oh, good. I have to say, you're unexpectedly northern as well. Where is this accent from?
Northern. Oh, see, that's very controversial. You see. So it depends where you're from. I'm from the East Midlands, so I wouldn't consider myself northern, but then again, people south of the Midlands would say that I am. So it's all a matter of perspective, isn't it?
The north is everywhere above the M25. Anyway.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, north of the wash.
Finally, Frederick, you want to talk us through what you do at NFC?
I run. No, actually, nowadays I have the organization down, so after I don't have to run till after the opening ceremony. I'm very sorry, Dalziel, I never have time to watch your stuff, because apart from events, I also help Trax with the venue. So from the day I set foot at the convention location to the opening ceremony, I have to make sure everything is fixed and works. And then from the opening ceremony to the closing ceremony, I have to make sure everything works. And then I can get drunk.
So you can't get drunk until the very end. That's just come on.
Wait, what? Can you get drunk during the con?
No.
Don't I give you enough work to do?
Made a terrible mistake here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Now I will note this down, Fredericks.
Oh shit!
Sounds like a Minnie and my relationship.
Yeah.
So we were talking about little fires. Yeah, little fires. Basically, if there's a little fire, everyone's like, Frederick!
Yeah, pretty much. I try to catch them before Trax gets them.
Good.
But it's mostly with the schedule and cross-scheduling and people not showing up. And, well, you know how furries and timekeeping and everything?
Yeah.
It's not always easy.
It does sound like a Kami and my relationship, actually. It does.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am infamous for that. That's the only time during the entire year I run. It's at NFC.
Love that.
I have to run things because Annie's never at our meets. Oh,
Yeah, but
brutal. This is
lately
brutal.
I've gotten older and my crew has gotten more up to speed, and I actually have a full crew now, apart from when I was when I was more or
starting.
less helping out the minuscule event department we had for a while.
nice.
Well, how long's the convention been going for, guys? Now, what's the were you all involved from the start? Obviously, Dalziel wasn't. He said 2 years ago, but how old is NFC now?
Well, I was one of the 3 people that started NFC.
Yeah.
In 2012, we opened registration for the first con that happened 2013.
Crikey.
So it's a few years in the making now. It started off from a fur meet, and people thought we did a very good job with the fur meet, and then like a month later, we're like, okay, why not turn this into a con instead?
Yeah, but also, how long had you been in the furry fandom by that point?
That's irrelevant. Well, basically, I found in 2011. I found the furry fandom shortly before EF took place in August.
Yeah.
Had no idea what furry was at all. And that was very amusing during EF because I found it and I booked a ticket. No idea. Went there and got blown away with all the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of pictures from that time because I didn't want to bother the fursuits with taking pictures. I mean, who knew that fursuits took pictures? So all my pictures from that EF is from the Magdeburg. And they were from the first level or second level. And I was always taking all of them down because I didn't want to bother the fursuiters down there.
Amazing.
And then about 1 month after the con, so 2 months after I found the furry fandom, I ordered my fursuit. And about 9 months later, we had this fur meet. And then, so I hadn't been in the fandom even a year before I actually helped start Nordic FuzzCon then.
So do you have a long history of jumping right into the deep end of everything you do, or is this just the first thing you've gone past that deep into?
Well, it's basically I've always felt like there's a piece of the puzzle missing for me. So I mean, you have a lot of things that you're grateful for, but there's always something missing, and it was like the missing piece. And once I found it, I just wanted to contribute and then dig in, and here I am.
So cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Do you know what's lovely about that as well is that, Eurofurence, a lot of people talk about Eurofurence, and obviously about fur meets and stuff and conventions, and the fact that these events inspire people to do their own thing and to promote their own thing. And I mean, NFC, we only hear good things about NFC, so it really is a testament to hear that, that you jumped in so fast and what you produced in that short amount of time is a special thing. And, hearing what you say about your team around you as well is fantastic. I wish I could share the same testament sometimes, but...
Well, it's not always roses and
cheeky bastard.
The whole team aren't listening in, Annie.
Exactly.
I do so much of nothing just to hear that. My God.
Brutal. I lie. They're amazing team. I'll don't worry. I'll sort that out later on. But yeah.
And now you have to buy everyone a pizza.
I know.
Or something.
God, don't. Yeah, that's a good shout. You've been doing this a while, haven't you, Trax?
What can I say? No, but I mean, of course, been ups and downs, and a lot of staff has come and gone over the years. But people we really invest a lot of time internally to try to make everyone feel comfortable working and then doing things for NFC. And that is one of the important things that we are focusing on. Like just a few days ago, most people got their Christmas card that we are sending out every year for everyone that is interested. So on.
Really nice. One of the things I was going to ask, and this might be a question for everyone, as you have been growing, what what are the challenges that you've been facing and or still continue to face as you can grow?
One of the biggest things that we have been trying really hard to keep in the chat also with like 172 attendance
Attendees. Yeah.
in 2013, and then it's grown with like 25 to 50% every year.
Crikey.
And still try to keep that small con feel, despite it's not being a small convention anymore.
This is what you get when you run such a successful con that everyone loves going to. People are going to...
That's what I keep saying. I don't know if you're familiar with our mascots, Mousy and Iris. I want a radioactive scorpion as a mascot instead, and not have those two because they're way too cute. I know they attract attendance, just those two.
To a scorpion, that's a good shout.
Now you see what I have to wrestle with on and off. That's the chat. Scorpion.
Isaac, do you have anything to add about coziness?
About what did you say?
About coziness and experience.
Coziness?
Yeah, having things cozy.
Coziness.
Nice.
Yeah,
coziness.
Trying to keep everything sort of keep it feeling
Cozy.
like a small con, even though it's become such a big one.
Yeah, the experience department was partially made to make sure that everyone had a good experience at the con. It's kind of a vague name for a department, but to kind of summarize it, it's a little bit about making people feel welcome and included, and also about making sure people have things to do, because we also deal a little bit with smaller activities, all the things that are in between the events, basically. And when it comes to inclusiveness and making people feel welcome, some of the things we've done recently, we started introducing a quiet corner where people can go and relax during the con to make sure people who don't like big crowd, for example, because the con is growing, so there's going to be more people, so we want to make people who don't like the big crowd still feel welcome, because they can retract a little bit and relax and still feel at home, even though the con is growing.
Yeah, especially in that hotel, because it's like a cathedral, that hotel lobby, so it does sometimes can get a little bit loud.
Yeah, definitely. So we tried to have somewhere where people can just pull to the side a bit and kind of just relax.
It's also when we are, as we are now spread out over multiple hotels, we also have to offer, so people don't have to go back all the way to their hotel to get some peace and quiet away.
Yeah, it's a really good shout. That it's something we should look at doing at the meets potentially as well, because sometimes it just can be overwhelming, can't it? And it's nice to have that space to just sort of relax a little bit and chill out. Yeah, that's a really cool idea. Did Isaac, how long have you been doing that for with the con?
I joined Stew in general in 2017, but the experience department was created a little bit later. So we've been running for 2 cons now.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, I joined as part of the fursuit support group, because from the beginning what I was interested in was kind of making sure people were having a good time and feeling good, and the fursuit support department was doing that for fursuiters, and then later I was invited to lead the experience group, which would do it on a larger scale for the whole convention, or
for everyone,
general.
Yeah. That's really cool. Yeah, I was going to say, I organise music shows, and in our world, it's called ambiance, the ambiance department. Yeah, it's really cool, really, really cool.
I did have a question around NFC. Just if anyone is listening in and thinks, "Oh, I fancy going to this," how would you sort of sell it to them, and what would you? Do you think that anyone coming from abroad would have any trouble meeting people or socializing, or do you think that they would be fine? They'd have a great time.
I just want to say I'm the worst salesman in the world, so I'll shut up now, Isaac.
I wanted to start by saying that you certainly won't face a language barrier at all, because everyone in Sweden will know English enough. Even if you go out and order food, you will be able to do so in English, so you don't have to worry about the language. And of course, at NFC, English is the most spoken language. All the events and everything is in English. We're a very international con, so it's very welcoming for anyone who wants to go from anywhere.
Nice. And what would you say is the main thing that you offer that's different maybe to all the other cons out there in the world? Is there anything that you feel like that is unique and very special about NFC?
I mean, I would say that the atmosphere and maybe how much people care. I feel like NFC is made from pure passion because of all the people involved, and I feel like you're always going to get a little extra at NFC, like the extra touch, the extra small things that will make you feel like, oh, this is the best. All these little things, it kind of makes the experience very complete. That's also why we made the experience department, to focus more on those things. We also have we have good events. We have the party boat, which is really cool. That's new, was new this year, which is a unique way to party in a slightly different setting and such, which have been well received as far as I know.
And it is literally a boat. We should point out that it is a boat that's on a river. So you go out of the hotel onto a boat and have a party on the boat. It's something very different.
That sounds a little bit like an event we do.
Annie, behave yourself.
No, I don't think this is something very original. You will not have encountered anything quite like this before, because maybe you missed the point. It's on a boat.
It's not only that. We also have attendees actually housing parties on this boat.
Amazing.
So they use the boat to house their themed parties that the attendees do. It's not even NFC technically doing
it's sort
them.
Of off-piste. I like that.
And
that opens for a lot of interesting themes, because people can kind of do what they want. So there were some cool party names this year, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
That's quite an American. A lot of the American cons do that, don't they? They have these sort of unofficial parties, and that's quite cool that you've brought that to NFC as well. That's wicked.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we have had it for years. We had something called the Party Wing, where we dedicated sort of what American cons do to an entire section. You could live there, so you can live in one of the rooms in the Party Wing. And then there was constant party going on from when the con started until the last day. One of the issues was that during late departure, people. Well, let's say late departure of that. This was the previous hotel. People still wanted to party, and then you have a lot of other guests around it, so they were less enthusiastic about it. So we wanted to take the party concept, we wanted to keep the party concept, but make it in a way so that it could be sustainable in the long run as well. And that's where we found the party boat. And then so we moved all the parties from there.
Inside to outside. I just the chat saying RIP room 940. What's room 940?
Well, during our previous hotel, we had a few famous rooms that were famous for the room parties, and the room numbers are being then shouted. It really depends on who's in there and what rooms being shouted. But
very cool.
I like the sound of the party boat, though. I know Annie, you particularly love organising the boat party in the UK, don't you?
Yeah, we do. LondonFurs, we do a boat party as well. So we do it's at 6 p.m. till 11 p.m. and it's just a big rave on a boat that goes up and down the Thames. You know, it's a good laugh. So I was making a light joke based on that. But that's such a cool thing to have, because sometimes conventions can get tied down in a single area, and it can just be one small thing. But the fact that you've got these little radar parties and things going on is really cool. Yeah, I
can tell you a fun thing that happened with the party boat. I had an attendee come to me and telling me that his thing is to organize those cheese and crackers parties. So he came to me and asked me if he could do something like that. And then he said, like 45 minutes later, said like, I put an idea out to the NFC, and 45 minutes later it's realized. Then I had found someone to go on. Chef, our convention chef, went and bought cheeses with him. I organized the party boat. And we put that out. Yeah, new event. Come here, eat cheese. And it was like, I don't know, the boat was filled with people. We had tables just stuffed with cheese and crackers and everything.
Hang on, you
And
have a convention
that
chef.
was all fixed
Right,
in
that sounds
45
amazing.
minutes.
So wait, a convention chef? You have a convention chef?
Yeah, you rolled over that one. Let's backtrack to convention chef.
Yep. Yeah, since the party boat has a small kitchen and so on, and we have always had this. We have had this snack exchange for a long time.
Nice.
And the hotel is kind of skeptical to have food and drinks in the hotel. The laws in Sweden are even worse than laws in the rest of Europe, and much worse than America. But the party boat, we can bring our own food and drinks and so on. So then we can have everything there. And we have a guy that is very interested in cooking and so on. So we are thinking about different events we could have here, like charity barbecue or soup appreciation dinner and so on.
Nice.
And I also
Andy,
remember
can we have an LS
what
chef?
soup and stew was.
We do need a LondonFurs chef. I think that's a really good...
Are you volunteer there, Tam? You should do a good...
Absolutely not. Well, I mean, unless you all want, like, I could just do rounds of cheese on toast, but I think that would actually go down really well.
The bar does some good...
Yes, please. Cheese toasties. Yes, please.
What has been your happiest memory of NFC? We'll ask everyone. Trax, we'll start with you.
This is gonna sound cheesy for Mouse's sake. I would say it's the it's kind of hard to explain, but my happiest moments, if I say it like that, because I'm always busy running around, is to seeing everyone else happy and everyone, both staff and attendees, enjoy themselves. So that for me is a really happy feeling and moment during the con, to see that people are appreciating everything that you have spent or are spending like countless of hours on producing.
Awesome.
So as I said, that's a bit cheesy.
No, it's nice though. Hey, it's a Christmas meetup. This is exactly what we want. Dalziel, what about you?
Bringing love and joy to everyone. That's the kind of Christmas cheese we want, isn't it?
Love that. Joy to the world.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, I can say maybe somewhat more seriously, because as Isaac was saying earlier, we put a lot of time and effort into this sort of welcoming atmosphere. We have this experience department, as you were calling it earlier. It's more like the ambience. We have a word internally that was atmospherience, I think, that we use, and we sort of want to try and get this atmospherience right. And I think that because of that, some of my sort of best memories of NFC is sort of the times when you get to talk with some people maybe that you don't even know, and you actually end up having really great conversations with people. And I think that, even though they can be strangers to you, the sort of the culture of the convention and this sort of friendly atmosphere kind of loosens a lot of people up and kind of makes people feel like they are included and makes it easier for people to come and speak with each other. And these are sort of moments that I quite enjoy at the convention, like, a lot, because it's for a lot of people who come to the convention or to any furry convention, it might be the one big event in the year that they go to and that they enjoy. Yeah, and it's maybe even the one time of year where they can kind of really be who they are, and that's to me, and maybe it sounds corny, but as you said, we have an excuse because it's Christmas time and so on. But I think that makes me happy to see, and I think that's a really, really nice thing.
Yeah, awesome. That's wholesome. That's what we want. Wholesome. Fredericks, how about you? What's your happiest memory or moment
Yeah,
of NFC?
I'm going to start with, it's not the happiest memory actually, but it's when I feel alive. It's when in the middle of this panic, when everything is going down, and me and my team and my colleagues and everyone, when everyone is pulling in the same direction, there is no arguments, no drama, and we just fix things, and the attendees don't notice, and then we read the feedback that this was the best thing ever and so on. We pulled it all off with what we didn't have in organization or pure luck. We just made with stubbornness and skill.
Awesome.
I do like that. It's not the happiest memory because it's so much work involved. But that's because the happiest memory is really when I can walk through the corridors, just meeting smiling people, talking with the security guards and asking, "Are you bored?" And like, "No, this is the best thing ever." This is so they are enjoying themselves so much. We actually have security guards that have retired, except for one thing they will go for it in the year. They have one job that year, and that's to be guards at Nordic FuzzCon.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yep.
That is lovely. Isaac?
I'm gonna take this in a slightly different direction because I could also say seeing people happy because that is always great. But instead, I'm gonna go back to my very first memory with NFC at my very first NFC as an attendee. Because when I arrived at the hotel, I arrived by myself. I was walking uphill. It was winter. I was dragging heavy luggage. And a random attendee who just came out of the hotel was like, "Oh, do you need help with that?" And helped with my luggage up to the door of the hotel. Just out of the blue. I'd never met them before. And when I entered the hotel, I go to my room, and my room key turns out to not be working, and I'm stuck at the far end of the hotel with all my luggage. And I end up asking in the chat if someone can help. And someone from ConOps just comes all the way up to the room, helps me with my luggage, help me fix my card, and everything is good. And it's just that helpfulness. Just both ConOps and the random attendee, just the first memory when arriving at NFC that made me feel, wow, this place is great. People are so nice.
It's beautiful. How nice is that?
Do you think that fed into you then wanting to join and help out as well, having such a positive first experience with it?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I was very impressed with ConOps at that time, that someone actually took the time to physically walk over there to help me in person, while they probably had other things they needed to do as well, because people tend to be busy at cons, but it definitely helped me make the decision in the end that I wanted to help, because I became Stu before the very next NFC. So I went 1 year as an attendee, and that was the last year as an attendee.
Oh. We do have to ask, what is the STEW thing about? What does that stand for?
Staff and crew. So
staff and crew.
And yeah, because crew is everyone who helps NFC and is a part of like the crew, and staff are people with slightly more responsibilities and such. And just to combine both of them, we call them STEW.
Oh, very cool.
That is cool.
And just to continue on that, we have something called soup as well. And
I saw in the chat the soup
is what you generally consider, well, what is it? Volunteers. That's people that don't have responsibilities in the same way that staff and crew has, but people that help running the convention. If you're holding an event, you classify as soup. If you help preparing and building up the haunted house, if you serve in the maid cafe and so on, then you're soup.
See, surely you should be like a dumpling, then you'd have stew and dumplings.
Yeah, we need like a bread.
We have been looking into a lot of the food euphorism or food.
Yeah.
One of them, I mean, the soup one is standing for some other useful personnel, so it has actually a meaning.
Very cool. Very cool.
We need
I
to
was,
have a few
just
drinks to
gonna,
come up these for Oslop.
we
I
definitely
can
do.
admit though that soup is a bit of a backronym. It didn't come by complete accident.
Acronym you've worked backwards from. I like that. I was going to ask, like,
we'll have to try
obviously,
like Bell End or something. That'd be a good acronym.
this is a very tenuous acronym.
Belen, that would just be me, the chairman role. Yeah, Belen.
You read my mind.
Start working on what that means. And so, like, 2020 has been a bit of a disaster. But what are your plans for 2021? Looking forward, what does that look like for you guys?
Well, we we have some. We're looking into an online edition of NFC that would then be around the time of the normal one, and we're still, as I mentioned, looking into it. And once that's been concluded, then we will make an announcement for that. Otherwise, we are looking to return as normal for 2022, with full schwung and everything that makes NFC really.
Yeah, we'll
what
have
do you?
to keep an eye on how things develop with vaccines and so on, but we are hopeful.
Awesome. And what the date of NFC? What's the normal date for it?
It's roughly week 8 or 9 in the year, and that's because in Sweden there's a holiday week, and we get the hotels are often empty. That's
this is a holiday when you go up to the mountains or something, like you go out for sporting and so on.
Yeah.
It's like the last time you have to have proper ski downhill and so on. So everyone leaves
that
the
explains
city.
why Malmo was empty. That explains it. Okay, the more you know.
Yeah, otherwise it's not obvious. Holiday, the hotels are empty.
Well, it must be cold though that time of year.
Cold.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think for fursuiters, that's an excellent time of the
Perfect.
year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everyone think about anime. It's just farsuiters. That's everything anyone cares about.
Someone has to care about the important things here, like the budget and then the fursuits.
I mean, coming from the UK, though, of course, British people are going to have a bit of a different perspective on what's cold compared to the Nordic people. So, I mean, I moved from the UK over to Finland some years ago, and for us in the UK, if we get any snow at all, it's significant, and if it drops below 0, it's like, it's bloody cold, and then over in this part of the world, minus 20 or something in the winter time is kind of standard, and it really does change your kind of perception of what's normal. So while these guys are saying, no, it's not cold at that time of year at all, we have to recognize our audience. And I think that, maybe some people would find it kind of cold. However, the weather's been quite warm in recent times, and even, NFC earlier this year, there wasn't even all that much snow. So it wasn't that much, a bit above 0, really. So, but it's either that or going to be incredibly cold. But as Track says, for fursuiters, it's absolutely fine. And for the rest of us, we just stay inside. We're going to be outside anyway. It's a fairy con. You should be inside.
Yeah, and I think more hugs. We had an unfortunate incident though one year when we had
in
a 2018
in
Old Town. Yep. And then I check my phone and I see, I have a 20-minute-old message here. The bus isn't here. So we had a bunch of furries in central Stockholm, and that was like colder than minus 20. And as you point out, that's another interesting thing that makes NFC is that Swedes are not necessarily the majority there. Less than 50% of the attendants are Swedes.
Less than 25% are Swedes.
Thank you.
Crikey.
So we organize tours every year. So we have we rented a boat to have a buffet on it. We have what Frederick's mentioned was we did a ghost walk in the central of Stockholm, so you could sign up for it and then go in by bus. And the problem was there was minus 20, 25 or so. And then, walking 2 hours central of Stockholm for a minus 20, 25 can be pretty cold. And then the bus doesn't
open
arrive.
waters all around, so it was a proper wet cold. But luckily, they tried to get refuge in one bar, but they didn't want them. So they got refuge in another bar. And in the waiting for the bus, they basically drank it dry and entertained all the other patrons and so on. Because of course there were fursuiters on this walk, and they were very popular right then.
Oh, amazing!
So they had a blast in this bar at least.
So not all bad.
No, but I was slightly panicked at that time.
I bet.
It was just minus 20, so it's not that
that's
bad.
Crazy. I can't believe that. It's just crazy. To me, that's not. I'm surprised that's on planet Earth.
Yeah, we actually made a call for fursuiters to come and hug people when they arrived. We had a lot showing up.
Amazing.
But layers are your friend. So for anyone visiting and worrying about the temperatures, of course, in the UK we don't tend to have a lot of gear that's sort of great for those sort of temperatures. Just extra layers. That's a nice, easy way of dealing with it.
Well, you could do what we did. So we have had snow basically 1 year. It's been some very minor snow a few years, but 1 year, 2018, we had proper snow. So the cats were outside, of course, having a snowball fight, and then returning back into the lobby a bit later, and then started hugging people. And people then realized that the cats were very wet. So that they quickly started running away, screaming from the cats. So that was a very fun moment, running around in fursuits and trying to hug people at least.
Amazing.
I remember I grabbed a piece of snow from one of the cat fursuiters and dropped it down the neck of one of the security guys. That was fun. He made a very amusing sound. I will not name names.
That is NFC, our security, not the security guards we have.
Yeah, to clarify, it wasn't a staff member.
Oh, the security guards are absolutely lovely.
Awesome.
I remember when we had security guards for the first time, properly from the hotel. I was kind of, how is this going to work out? But we picked them very carefully, and as I said, they just want to return.
It's super sweet,
Yep.
and it's been lovely having you all
the
here.
Security there works very closely to our security, and so on, and they know that our security can handle interpersonal problems and so on. And they are basically there
it's
just
always
to
key.
get some legitimacy.
It's always key, that isn't it, to have just a smooth operation between yourselves and the venue, and I mean that's from literally all feedback I've had to your convention throughout the years, wanting to go to your convention. All the feedback from friends that have been have just said it's amazing. So it really is. It's testament to you all, and you're all lovely people. So it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on here today. And we'd like to wrap it up with: do you have any sort of Christmas message you'd like to pass on to the LondonFurs attendees?
Good Yule.
Good Yule. Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah, we don't even use the word Christmas over here.
We use the word joulu here, so we would say hyvää joulua ja onnellista uutta vuotta.
Oh.
That means Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, I was just thank you all for having us as well, and that we got the opportunity to join in this podcast. It's very nice.
Yeah, it was great fun. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
It's been really, really good. So that was Nordic FuzzCon. What a team! What a lovely bunch of people! And from the sounds of things, 2021 will be the next physical convention. So if you can make your way there, do it, because it sounds completely awesome. I'll be going there I'm gonna do I'm gonna do 1 year. I think Tamwolf of just doing as many conventions as I can in 1 year.
I think we should. I think we should
just
do a little
try.
podcast from every place we go.
Hmm.
We're definitely
Why
going
not?
to the Japanese meeting of furries because those guys sound amazing.
Those guys sound so
Oh,
cool,
yeah, they did.
man. Oh my god. Yeah, we need to do that. We need to do that.
Well, speaking
Right.
of cons we should attend, let's introduce our next guest.
Oh,
Our
wow,
next guest,
what a
we
segue.
I
Damn.
like that. Wait, we need a little bit.
Professional level, man.
We need some
thanks, man, little
music in
drum roll.
between. A little.
Yeah, give us some
music.
interlude music. Interlude music.
Oh, do you want some
Drop
really
it.
loud stuff?
No.
Now that is a rock and roll entrance.
Oh yeah!
For the American joining.
America!
Got some fireworks.
So all joking apart, we are super excited to have our next guest on. Look, jingle bells are going. Hold on. You have surpassed yourself, Lucas Fur.
Oh, yeah.
You have surpassed yourself. So, Christ's sake, wind it down. For Christ's sake. Turn that racket down. We are super excited to have next with us the current vice chair of MFS, Ducan the Husky, who's been part of Midwest FurFest from the very beginning. Duncan, how are you doing, sir?
Good evening. I'm doing very well, thank you, and thank you so much for inviting me.
No worries. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here. And yeah, when you replied, so I just sent a general email to MFF, like info@MFF, and I was like, oh, I probably won't hear anything. And I got this lovely email from you saying, yeah, I've been here from the start, and I've done this role, and like, I'm current vice chair. I'm happy to have a chat. I'm just like, oh my god, you are the perfect person. So
I do appreciate the invitation.
No, we love it. So please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do for MFF currently.
Okay, my name is Ducan the Husky, also known as Tom, but nobody calls me that. In my day job, I'm a pharmaceutical engineer, but currently I am one of 4 vice chairs for Midwest FurFest, which the way the convention is structured, that kind of makes me middle management.
Okay.
I do feel like we always jump in with these things and just imagine that everyone knows what MFF is, and I'm sure everyone does. But if there is a single furry out there who has lived under a rock, why don't you give us a brief explanation about what it is, what sort of where it's set, how many people sort of attend, what should people expect?
Well, we are the largest furry convention in the world, which is a blessing and a curse. At one point, we offered Anthrocon some money to claim that they had more people than we do, but they told us to get hosed. The convention is held in Rosemont, Illinois, which is just outside the city of Chicago, and right next to O'Hare International Airport. Lots of free shuttles, always great.
Nice.
We are spread across 6 hotels right now, and probably several more that we don't have room blocks with. And we have events taking place in the Hyatt Regency O'Hare and the Stevens Convention Center, which are connected by a convenient walkway that is alternately hotter than the fires of hell or colder than the North Pole. It's exciting. For the convention itself, it has the components that are kind of common to most American furry conventions: the Dealer's Den, Artist Alley, panels, gaming, art show, and performances. Though for us, it's all kind of writ large. Last year's Dealer's Den was about 6,000 square meters, and our main stage can seat 2,000 people.
Crikey.
It's a lot of people.
Not playing around. How big is your team of people, would you say, like that work on the event, roughly?
We had last year 450 on staff.
Christ.
We have our own human resources
in
department.
itself.
Annie, you think
I
your job's
bet.
hard?
I know. I'm just like, wow,
Annie,
okay.
Annie, sit, Annie.
Yeah, wag, 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 wag. Yeah. Oh God. Oh,
So I
amazing.
guess, like, what was it like all the way back when you first started? What was that first con like?
That was interesting. Kind of the story of how Midwest FurFest came to be. There was a long time ago a science fiction convention called Ducan that started in 1992, and it was general interest general interest science fiction con, focused on books and movies and that sort of thing. They usually had between 500 and 1,000 people there. And a few years in, a furry programming track was started by a gentleman by the name of Robert King, which may be a familiar name to some folks.
Oh,
He
yeah.
actually coined the term fursuit. At that point, everyone involved by 1999, it was approaching about half the programming and attendance were furries. And it was kind of agreed that, hey, maybe it's time for the furries to kind of start their own event. So it was an amicable parting, and we actually even shadowed some of the Ducon staff the year before to kind of get a good idea of what we were getting into as convention staff. And we had our first year, we had a lot of overlap with Ducon staff as folks kind of joining in to help us get started. And in 2000, we had the first event, and we had 473 people. And we learned a lot. It was chaos. We had a good time.
Yeah, I bet it was a lot of fun, but yeah, mental.
Absolutely.
What have been the biggest changes over the years? Have you, I'm guessing it's scaling and also keeping the spirit of MFF alive.
It is, and the funny thing is that one of the things that's changed the most is something that attendees won't ever see. And early on in the convention, we were very strongly against a corporate vibe. Kind of, we were by the fans, for the fans. We never wanted to be kind of a big faceless business. As the years went on and the attendance grew, that became kind of harder to live by, because when you start to have over 100 people on staff, you need some level of organization instead of everybody reports to the chairman.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
And as the years went by, layers of management were created to kind of keep things running and to keep staff members from burning out. And that's really been a huge deal for us, is making sure that staff members aren't killing themselves and are having a good time during the course of the convention, because you need people to keep wanting to come back. And so these days, we have department heads, and 3 or 4 department heads report to a lead. 2 or 3 leads reports to one of the vice chairs, and the vice chairs report to the chairman. But when you have 450 people on staff, you really do need to have some kind of structure like that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's what's interesting with that is that there's a lot of newer cons that, and even fur meets and stuff that should listen to that, and particularly the keeping staff from burning out is such an important thing, because people do it for the love, don't they? They do it for the love of events, and for the love that you create, and they will work themselves to the bone, to doing things. So, I mean, it's really interesting to hear that's because when I hear 450 people, just imagine 450 people standing in a room all having a conversation about something. It's gonna.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I'm sure you got. It's amazing to hear how you do it, because wow, yeah, what a feat.
And the other thing too is we try to keep in mind that there's kind of a pipeline of staff. You want to have something where someone's saying, "Hey, I'm interested in getting involved," so you can say, "Okay, maybe join registration staff." We have probably oh my gosh, about 50 people on the registration staff, and it's a good role because you work a couple of hours, you interact with people, but at the same time as that is going on, the registration director is kind of looking at who's out there and who's interested in doing a little bit more, who's interested in, kind of taking more of a leadership role, and we start graduating up from there. And eventually, someone may wind up as chairman over a couple of years.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's whether you seek to apply yourself in those sorts of roles and you move yourself on. That it's really cool that's how you guys run things. I never really thought about it, to be fair.
Yeah. and there's absolutely nothing wrong to folks who just want to come up, work a few hours, and for the rest of the con. We always need people like that too. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I was going to ask, just because we talk a lot about how the con itself has changed, but you've probably got quite a good perspective on how the attendees have changed over the years as well. Have you noticed sort of a change in the type of people that have arrived, that keep coming each year?
They seem to be getting younger and younger. I'm getting older.
As you get older and older.
As the years have gone on, our attendees, the age range is kind of spread out a little bit, but it does still skew more to the 18 to 22 years old range. And while the fandom was almost internet-based back at the beginning, furry culture is kind of slowly becoming more mainstream, and that appeals to broader social demographic as well. So we're getting a lot of people from outside where we would normally pull from. And one thing that I'm kind of happy to see is that way back in the beginning, the fandom has always been very welcoming of LGBTQ people, but it was overwhelmingly white and overwhelmingly male. And it's great to see that there's more women and more people of color joining, because those are viewpoints and cultural contributions that have been missing. And I think having that added in will keep the fandom alive and kind of help keep it growing.
Yeah, it's really cool. Did in terms of it was funny, we asked the same question of Uncle Kage, really, the growth in the amount of fursuits that attend the conventions. I mean, how many fursuits do you think attend MFF?
Well, that's actually really hard to say, because the problem is, and this was not a popular decision at the time, but while fursuit parades have been kind of a standard at a lot of furry conventions, fursuit walks, parades, similar things.
Yeah.
When you start to have over 1,500 or 2,000 fursuits, it just becomes logistically impossible.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What we have gone to is more sort of an event where we set up in our main stage area. So it's a huge bowl, and we set up photography stations all around, and we do theme photos of fursuits made by one particular maker, all the fox fursuits or something like that. The downside is that means that with that number of people, we never have a way to get one giant picture of everybody and really know how many fursuiters we have. I would guess at this point, probably on the order of between 2,500 and 3,000 fursuiters, though.
Mad.
That must be quite a logistical challenge dealing with that many, just generally around.
It really is, and honestly, big fursuit photography thing is a bit of chaos. That it's a work in progress to improve on, but we're getting there.
So has the what are the biggest challenges then? Because I imagine, like we were just hearing from the NFC group, like it keeps growing and growing. Like, do you imagine there's going to be a problem in the near future with if it keeps growing at this rate?
I don't think so, which is of course famous. We are fortunate where we are located right now. It's a bit of an oddity, because the village of Rosemont, it's not part of Chicago. It exists almost exclusively for conventions. There's about 18 different hotels plus a giant convention center. The village itself only has about 5,000 people who live there, and they all live in a gated community a few miles from the hotel. But that means that we do have a lot more hotels to expand into. But that does again present its own logistics. Last year that was the first year that we had a bus running a loop between the different hotels. And that was that was a good start, but we need to improve on that one as well. And otherwise, I think that kind of moving the people around is tricky. One of the big problems that we have right now is that for those who have not been there, the Hyatt Regency O'Hare is a hotel with a big atrium in the middle of the hotel, and the lobby has become sort of a main social area. And I'll be honest, on Friday or Saturday night, walking through that lobby is a challenge because it is shoulder to shoulder.
Oh my god! I can imagine. Even when you say 2,000 fursuiters, I can 2,000 people in fursuit to me just sounds like
it's
amazing, but also logistically a nightmare.
Yeah.
I think T and Noah would handle that fursuit walk around London.
That's it. Noah and Ty can sort that right out. Has MFF always been in the same place?
It's always been in the Chicago. We've been in 4 different hotels over the 20 years that the convention has been around.
Yeah.
And at this point, we have actually kind of topped out without going to downtown Chicago. We're in the largest facility that we can possibly be and still stay in the Chicago area. And going to downtown Chicago is really not a good option because that's going to be fantastically expensive to both attendees and the
pricey.
convention.
Yeah.
People don't want to pay $50 a night for parking, and that's absolutely what it would be. Brutal.
Savage. Are you local? Have you always lived in Chicago yourself, or?
For the most part, there were 2 years back around 2002 to 2004 when I was actually living down in North Carolina, which is that's about 12-hour drive away. And at that point in time, I was running registration, and it was a challenge. And that was also before doing teleconferencing, things like that were really easy. So I made a lot of drives back and forth to Chicago. It was kind of rough, but then moved back to the Chicago area and I've been here ever since.
That's really cool. Communication and even just sort of, the organization back then would have been horrific, wasn't it?
That's...
It's so easy us now just being here and just chatting away on voice as if it's nothing, but this is a big thing. It's a big step in that organisation process. Having those comms and having to drive somewhere to meet in person just to have a meeting must have been a nightmare.
And it is kind of important to have that because after a period of time, you're going to kind of use all of the available people in a given area who want to participate. So if you don't expand that, you're going to run into some problems.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, we do take this stuff for granted, don't we? That we can do calls like this, and I guess even for us doing these online specials, it's really helped this year. I think for us and keeping our little community alive. I was going to ask, how is 2020 looking for MFF this year?
We are pretending that 2020 didn't happen. As a matter of fact, our online event is actually going on. When you're wrapped up here, feel free to go over to FurFest.live. We're streaming live via YouTube for the entire weekend. Yesterday's stream was very well received, and I'm really kind of happy with how everything has worked out there. It looks great. And certainly the chat that is accompanying that, people seem to really be really enjoying it, so that's good. As for 2021, just like everybody else, it's a bit of a guessing game. With what we know right now, though, and because we are lucky enough that normally we are in December, December 3rd through 5th next year, we're thinking that things should be back to normal as they can be post-COVID, and we'll be able to resume business as usual. It's kind of tough, though, because our planning cycle usually October of the previous year. And so we pretty much have to just assume everything is right, and we have to start planning. Well, we're already starting to plan now, and in the hopes that things are going to work out.
And is there anything from 2020 that you think you'll bring across to 2021? Any sort of online element that you've been doing this year?
I think that it's been kind of rough getting parts of the convention online during the course of the convention. Last year, I think, was the first time that we've really been able to do a lot of streaming from our main stage. And I could see that there's going to be probably a lot more streaming going on while the convention is live, and hopefully making it available to people after the fact as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was looking through your bio earlier that you sent over to us, and it seems like you've done a bit of everything. So we were very keen to understand. Like, have you had a favorite role over the years that you think if you could just do that one role? Is there one favorite that you've had?
I would say probably where I am now. I've run registration, been chairman, served as the hotel liaison. But even though I've never really been a manager in my professional life, that is exactly what I'm doing here. And I kind of work with the leads and the department heads to kind of make sure everybody's communicating and try to kind of break down the roadblocks that may pop up. It's a troubleshooting role, but it's one that I really enjoy. And I'll be honest, at this point, after 20 years, the fact that I can spend probably the majority of the convention just kind of hanging out in operations and making sure nothing's going wrong. And that's I'm not running around the convention, kind of a blessing.
That does seem to be a theme. The higher up you get, the less stress actually on the weekend, because
Yes.
all of your stress has happened for the previous 9 months.
You put the hours in, that's it. You've done exactly that.
Annie and I are stressed during one of our party weekends, and that means you guys ain't pulling your weight. It's as simple as that. And then shit just rolls downhill from there.
Of course, one of the side roles that goes with this, and it's more to make sure that everybody in the leadership does have a chance to the convention. Between the vice chairs and the chair, we sort of have a designation that each night someone is chair on duty, which means that if things go to hell, you get to be the one to deal with it first. And that's made life exciting at times, but fortunately hasn't been too bad.
I bet, but it's a sensible way of doing things, definitely, because it does. It just keeps that. You trust each other, and it's a beautiful thing. And with LondonFurs, it's a similar fashion in that if any one of us was not well, I know that that someone would step in within that role within the team, and that's having that team of people around you, be it 10 or 450. That there's always someone there to fill that void, which is that's awesome. That is awesome. You mentioned when we emailed that you help coordinate the Furry Convention Leadership Roundtable.
Yes.
When was this established exactly, and how many conventions are part of it? What is it? Explain to them.
Well, the Furry Convention Leadership, FCLR, because that's a mouthful. It was actually started back in 2010 by my late husband, Takaza. It took a few years to get off the ground, but these days we have over 75 furry conventions from all over the world participating in it.
Wow.
And it grew out of the idea that many conventions are performing the same functions every year, but each one seemed to be reinventing the wheel every time.
Yeah.
And we wanted to create a way for convention runners to kind of talk about what works, what doesn't, and how we can improve to create better events throughout the fandom. And one of the other big things that we do is mentor new conventions. providing advice, feedback, and kind of giving them kind of a sounding board as they're getting ramped up for their first event.
That's an amazing thing. You know, we on a completely different level, we did a fursuit roundtable event on one of our online meets, and it really surprised me just hearing these fursuit makers, be them completely new or someone that's quite established within that industry, sharing ideas and sharing suppliers and supporting each other from, you know, what thread supplier they used or what fur supplier they used to how they do certain things. And it blew my mind because I work in an industry that's so competitive with each other, and it's sort of it's all about money, and you know, this is what surprises me about the furry world, is that you have an amazing group of people and an amazing set of companies and businesses, essentially, that will turn around and say, this is everything, this is how we do it, this is, you know, we'll support you, we don't want anything for doing it. And to hear that, what a beautiful thing, to set up and to have and to work. I mean, you know, it blows my mind. It blows my mind.
I think if FCLR had a motto, and it doesn't because it's nowhere near that cohesive, but we do take the approach that if one event succeeds, we all succeed.
Yeah. God,
so we kind of try to share knowledge that way. It's kind of important because a organization can get kind of a tunnel vision of how things need to be done, and we found that it's really good to kind of challenge that and say, well, okay, what if you tried it this way instead of that way? And it really, I think, has done a lot of good over the years.
I bet. I mean, that's the thing. With these big events, particularly, you know, events of your size, there needs to be a degree of responsibility, and you can't just do this sort of thing on a whim. As much as you might want to, you need to have that organisation and that element of care. Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that.
Please don't do that. Yeah. But yeah, it's an amazing thing, and wow, what a testament. It's funny. We would do these online meets, and I hear things and learn of things like the furry convention, leadership roundtable, FCLR. And it makes me. It makes me really happy to hear it, because, you know, with LondonFurs, we all work our asses off to produce something and to produce a space for people to express themselves and stuff, and you always do it. You'll do it just because it's a love thing. It's producing that area, and you see the reaction from people. And then the NFC guys were talking about it earlier. You know, the people love the events and can be themselves at these events, and you just to hear it from the scale of MFF, to see that people are. There's an element of care worldwide like that. Well, it's so amazing, and yeah, I'm really happy to hear about that. Thank you. That's huge. It's really good. Has there been a single moment with your involvement in the convention or fandom even that you are most proud of?
I am actually really fortunate that my favorite moment comes every year. Midwest FurFest selects an animal-related charity every year, corporate charter, commitment to the state. And we work really closely with our charities over the course of the weekend, kind of helping them meet our attendees, giving them opportunities to raise funds. And as a side note, every year, our charity, regardless of who they are, come back and they talk about how nice the people that they are dealing with at the convention are. And they just love our attendees, which is wonderful. But what we do is at closing ceremony, we kind of tally up everything that has been raised over the course of the weekend. And then the convention provides an additional contribution on top of that. And last year, things kind of went crazy. Attendees raised about $50,000.
Yeah.
And then the convention was able to add another $60,000 to that.
Wow.
And then an anonymous donor doubled that. So they had
Oh my
$224,000 and so many tears.
Wow. Just wow. You know, we were Bariki, who was our former chairman earlier, we were talking to him, and he was saying we should ask how you felt when you had Alkali running around gathering thousands of dollars from people in 2019 at the closing ceremonies.
He's good at what he does.
Making that bank.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's beautiful. 224, did you say?
Yes.
Amazing. God. And what charity was that for?
That was for a shelter called Felines and Canines. And one of the things that they do actually is they have a facility down in Alabama, which is down in the South, and
Sweet home.
they have a lot of issues there with stray animals and dogs and cats going into kill shelters just because they run out of room. So they have an intake facility there where they bring in the dogs there, bring them up to Chicago, make sure that they're healthy and well adjusted, and then adopt them out. And so their entire facility there, the building of it, was financed by Midwest FurFest. And
No way.
I'm really proud of that.
Wow.
Because that's such a transformational amount of money, isn't it? Like, I'm sure all charities are grateful for an amount, but that is such a huge amount. That must have been staggering for them.
It really was.
Amazing.
Definitely made some best friends there then.
Yes.
Bariki was saying it's the community itself has raised over $3 million for charity since 1989. And I mean, MFF must, being the biggest, would have contributed a large proportion of that. And it's beautiful what this community can do for the world, And I mean,
it really is.
Rescue dogs and cats, man. That's my vibe. That's just yeah. God, I'm beaming right now. I am.
It's great.
Has there been a favourite year of MFF for you, in particular? Do you think?
I think probably last year, of all things, because I think that was the year when everything kind of came together between the planning, the function space, the hotels, the staff, and it really kind of showed that while we kill ourselves over the course of the year to get everything into place, when you have the proper preparations, things just run. And that's what happened, and it was a glorious thing to see, quite frankly.
Do you know how long have you been involved with MFF for?
20 years.
20 years. For you to say after 20 years that the best time has been the last year is again, it's another that's fucking amazing. I've got to go. I really have. What an amazing thing.
And I hope that you can make it, because one of the things that we have done, and this is kind of tough, but we know that one of the big reasons why people come to furry conventions is to meet up with friends and socialize. And one thing that we really try to do is kind of promote places for people to do that, and make it a more pleasant experience for everyone. And there is a sort of a U.S. Midwestern standard of hospitality that we try to share to our attendees as well.
That's really cool. That is cool.
It's another one for our list, Danny.
Yeah, I was going to say, our ever-growing list. Yes.
LondonFurs World Tour. There you go.
Hey, we'll do a LondonFurs at MFF. Why not?
Hey, we'll give you a panel. No problem.
Yeah, perfect.
We
Our
could
ride is
expense that shit, right?
quite yeah, exactly. Our ride is quite large though. That's the problem, Duncan. It's gonna.
I mean, only brown M&Ms.
I don't like how cynical that was. That was a very cynical hum.
All I'm
As you
saying
went-
is the local liquor store delivers.
Delicious. I'll tell you what though, when it comes to M&Ms in America, peanut butter M&Ms, we don't get them here. We don't get peanut butter M&Ms. It's unreal.
Interesting.
They're the best, the best. Just to a side note on that.
Yeah, this chat's sponsored by M&M. No, it's not.
M&Ms, when you're feeling like chocolate and peanuts and peanut butter in a delicious sweet shell. M&Ms.
Don't quit the day job, Annie. Just don't quit the day job.
There's a really weird note to be wrapping up on, isn't it, Annie?
I just get excited when they talk about chocolate. Frankly, it's
Yeah, I feel like you've zoned off a little bit. It's just Annie now, just staring into a middle distance in his little room, thinking about peanut butter M&M. I'm just aware of the time, and we should let you get back to the day job, Duncan.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate the invitation. I've had a wonderful time.
Duncan,
thank you
it's
for
been a
joining us.
pleasure.
Thank you. Great.
Pleasure.
And I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas and a very safe and healthy New Year.
Amazing.
you too,
Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, you get your own little outro music as well.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Duncan.
As you fly off to bring joy to people back at the MFF.
Let's say Duncan's chariot has arrived, taking it away.
Yep.
Yeah, happy holidays, Duncan. Mate, do you know what? What an amazing! I'm gonna give away a little secret. I've been sipping away on some delicious whiskey during this whole debacle, and it's just made me really warm and happy inside. When I started today, there was all this depressing news about there not being a Christmas and lockdown and rah rah rah. But following this beautiful hour, what a lovely time! What a lovely time!
Well, it's been great, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good.
We should probably
Annie
move
just-
some rooms, shouldn't we?
Annie just started talking like everyone's favourite uncle just then.
He's drunk. Quick.
A
Run.
little, a wee bit. But in all seriousness, it's been lovely having everyone here, and what a beautiful set of guests that we've had, and what a wonderful way to wrap up not a great year, but to be honest, it's been a pleasure having everyone turn up to online meets and to be able to give a space for everyone to chat and to communicate in, and to keep LondonFurs going no matter what has happened. And yeah, let's keep supporting each other. Let's keep moving on. 2021 is another year, and we will do all we can as a team of people to keep producing a wonderful space for everyone to socialise in. From now, we're going to be opening up the games rooms and the voice chats. So once we wrap up here, if you...
Did we just lose Annie?
I think we lost Annie. Yeah.
Taken off his chair, hasn't he?
He pulled whiskey on his microphone.
Do you know what? I just said the meaning of life, and it just
yeah,
it must have cut out.
Or did you just?
You really are drunk if you think you said that.
I think he just paused to have a sip of his whiskey. You know,
Yep.
I just went on a real like emotional, lovey like.
Yeah.
It's been a really as bad a year as it's been. As bad of a year as it's been lovely to have you all here. It has been, and you being attendees, staff, everyone. You know, LondonFurs will carry on into 2021, and we will continue to do what we do. So, thank you everyone for being here. The voice rooms and the games rooms will be open from now, so please jump in and come and say hello. I'll be sticking around for a bit to have a chat with everyone. And thank you very much for coming along. Yeah.
Hey.
Anyone
Cheers, all.
else? Anyone else?
Let's rock! Deck the halls with Hales and Harley. Oh, I mean,
Face it, if we can get through 2020, you can get through fucking anything.
All right.